Oh. Hello, and welcome to the GRadulting Workshop Series. This is our first of 10 workshops for the fall semester, and I'm happy to see that we have several students that have already signed in. I also want to welcome the students who will watch this recording on YouTube. So, today's workshop is all about health insurance. My name is Debbie McCutsky, and I am the coordinator of services and programs for graduate student legal aid. I use she, her pronouns. And you may not know that legal aid has a variety of services outside of this workshop series. And you have paid for these services because you paid your graduate student fee. So we're here to help you and support you while you're a student here. So just remember that we're here to help. Just a quick rundown of those services. First of all, we do legal consultations on general matters like tenant-landlord problems, traffic tickets, and traffic accidents. And you'll see that we have our attorney and director, Zach Mundy, here with us today. Hey, Zach. We also provide legal consultations on immigration matters. We have advocates on staff who help students who are charged by the university. And one of our advocates is in the background today, Simone. Thank you, Simone, for helping us out today. I'm a notary. That is the one service that we provide in person. And if you're interested in any of these services, just go to our website. There's a description of what we do, as well as instructions for how to request a consultation. So, Simone, did you, yeah, you did that already. But just put in the chat our website address. Okay, before I introduce our speaker, just a couple more announcements. Automatic closed captioning has been enabled for those who want to read along. Near the end of the workshop, we will post a link to a survey because we want to know how we did today. So please share your feedback. We will email links to the survey, the slides, the recording this afternoon to everyone who registered. And the links will also be posted on our website. And all right, I think we're ready to get started with the topic of the day, health insurance. I am pleased to welcome back again Miss Robin Kotzker to our workshop series. Robin is the point of contact for the student health insurance plan for the graduate school. And in addition to that, she is the program director for the Office of Funding Opportunities. She oversees competitive graduate student fellowship and award programs, and she is the liaison for matters relating to graduate faculty membership nominations. So welcome back, Robin, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for having me today. I look forward to trying to help you navigate this health insurance requirement a little bit at UMD and direct you in the right places so that you'll know where to ask your questions when you have them. You may not even have questions yet, but in a week you might. So the presentation I'm going to give today is going to provide you with lots of ways to find the information you need. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Screen 2. Okay. Share. I'm getting there. Okay, does everyone see? I assume everyone sees the screen. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sort of off to the side here.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
So basically, everything good?
Yep, looks good. Thank you.
Okay, great. So basically, I'm the point of contact, as Debbie mentioned, for health insurance. I don't help people choose health insurance plans. I basically help them figure out how to navigate the systems that you need. So for example, the student health insurance plan that we offer at the university is for undergraduate students and graduate students. And sometimes there's a lot of questions. The way undergrads work it is different the way that graduate students work it. So I'm here to help clarify those kinds of misunderstandings that do happen. So I'm the point of contact. So if you reach me with a question, I'm basically going to say, okay, you need to call this person, or you need to call the health center, or you need to. So I'm sort of that kind of point of contact. So I can't help you choose a plan, but I can help you find information about the plan. So I'm going to move forward. And if you do have a question, please post it in the chat, and somebody will interrupt me probably and ask it, or we'll end up at the end answering them. It doesn't matter to me. I can be interrupted. So let's see if I can get to the next page. There it goes. Okay. So the first thing you need to be aware of is that this graduate school has a health insurance policy. We started this back in 2020. We used to not require that students have health insurance, but it's really important that you have health insurance because the way the US operates is very different than most other countries. And if you go without health insurance and you get sick or you break a bone or something like that, it's going to be pretty expensive to get care. So health insurance helps avoid those large bills. We have unfortunately seen many students come to us prior to this policy and said, you know, they didn't have insurance and they have $10,000 worth of bills and they don't understand why and all those things. So it's really important to have health insurance in the US. And it should be a US insurance plan, not an international student plan. The international student plans do not quite cut it in the US. It's really important to find a plan that's here. So as of fall 2020, all students enrolled full-time in a master's or doctoral program at the university must have health insurance coverage. Full-time students are those that are enrolled for at least 48 units for the semester or 36 units for a 12-week term. And that's a lot of numbers and terms and all of that information. But basically, to be considered a full-time student, you have to have, if you're a regular semester-based student, you need to have 48 units. And if you need more information about what units are or how they're calculated, there's a link on this PowerPoint that you can click and you'll find more information about how to calculate units. So if you're not full-time, if you're part-time, we encourage you to have insurance, but it's not part of our policy. We don't require part-time students to have insurance, but we definitely encourage you to. And that's that third bullet there that talks about the different kinds of students that are not required. My guess is that most of the people attending today are full-time students. So the options that you have at Maryland, basically I've lumped them into 3 different ways you can find insurance. The first one is the University Student Health Insurance Plan, and we nickname that SHIP. That is the acronym that we use all the time for the student plan. All graduate students are eligible to enroll in the student plan. Even part-time students are eligible. You have to just be enrolled for 1 credit and you're eligible to enroll in the SHIP plan. It is a premium plan and it's reasonably priced, so it's worthwhile looking into for sure as one of your options. So the other thing in this paragraph that it talks about here is the academic health plans is our broker. So if you decide to enroll in a SHIP plan, you would enroll going to their site, the AHP site. They are our broker. So they're not our insurance provider though. So that's one key thing that's different that can be very confusing. They are helping you enroll in the plan. They are not the ones that you speak to when you have a claim. And when I say claim, that means like if you go to the doctor and you have to submit a claim or you're getting your insurance to pay for something, then AHP is not the folks that handle that. That would be the insurance carrier. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more later, but the insurance carrier for SHIP is called Aetna. It's spelled, it's right there in that first paragraph, Aetna. So to learn more about SHIP, how to enroll, and the Aetna plan, you can go to that website. The other option that's available here at the University of Maryland is the State Employee Health Insurance Plan. That is only though for graduate assistants, people that hold a graduate assistantship from their program. They might have to hold an assistantship elsewhere on campus. But if you have an assistant, a full-time assistantship or even a half-time assistantship, you are eligible for enrolling in the state employee health plan. So that is a different process completely. It is, you would not use AHP. That is a completely different enrollment process. But if you are a graduate assistant, you have the choice. You can either enroll in SHIP or the state plan. And then, of course, the third option that you have available is to enroll in some other plan external to the University of Maryland. Usually this happens if you're married or if you have a partner and you're able to enroll into their plan. That's considered an external plan from the University of Maryland. Or you could just, if you happen to know, you might be on your parents' plan still, if you're still at that age. So in any case, those are, that's another option you have. I'm guessing that most international students will choose either the first option or the second option and not look for an external plan. But if you happen to have an external plan, what we ask students to do is to report what that external plan is so that we are aware of your compliance. So that's just a form that you would fill out if you have an external plan. So the three options are to enroll in a student health insurance plan. If you're a simple graduate student who is enrolled in at least one credit. Second option is to enroll in the state of Maryland employee plan. If you are a graduate assistant, that option is available to you. And the third option is to enroll in an external plan and complete the form. So what I'm going to talk about on this slide is basically, I already spoke about them a little bit already. The two options available at University of Maryland is SHIP or the state plan. So this sort of goes through different characteristics of each plan. Each bullet is sort of, the first bullet is about enrollment in SHIP. And then the first bullet in the other column is enrollment in Maryland insurance. So basically for SHIP, I'll just go through SHIP first, and then we'll just sort of move over to the Maryland plan. So to enroll in SHIP, you have to do it during open enrollment, and there's different periods of open enrollment because you can purchase an annual plan or a fall plan. Like right now, we are in open enrollment through September 15th. Right now, it ends on September 15th. So if you still need SHIP, now is the time to purchase it. You can purchase it, an annual plan, which takes you for a full year, all the way through July 31st of 2023. Or you can purchase a fall plan. And then at the end of fall, we'll have another open enrollment for an option to purchase a spring-summer plan or a spring/summer plan, because it'll take you from January to July. And then in May, there's yet another open enrollment to allow you to enroll in just a summer plan. So it depends on what you need or want at the time. I think it's sort of easier just to simply enroll in the annual plans. You only have to deal with it one time, but sometimes people have different needs. And so we have those different options available for the semester. So as I mentioned before, Aetna is the SHIP insurance carrier, and dental and vision insurance plans are offered as an enhanced product. So the price of Aetna is one thing. I think right now it's around $2,300 for the year. And then if you want dental and or vision in addition, it would be an extra cost. And then the next bullet, the fourth bullet, is how to enroll in SHIP. You go to the Academic Healthcare Plans website, and that's where you start your enrollment process. And then with regard to SHIP, whatever plan you choose, whether it's annual, fall, or spring, whatever it is, you have to pay the insurance premium, the cost of insurance. It's due at the time that you purchase the plan. So it's one lump sum. So that's sometimes difficult, I understand, but that is the way it works for SHIP. Any questions so far that I can address? Okay. So if we go to the next column over where we're talking about the state of Maryland insurance, when you are a graduate assistant, if your start date is August 1st, you have 60 days from that date to opt in to the state of Maryland plan. It's not automatic. You have 60 days from your start date of your GA SHIP to enroll in the state plan. And the coverage period would be the first day of the month that follows your first date of employment. So There's one exception. So if your start date was August 1st and you decide to use the state plan, then your coverage would begin August 1st. But if your start date was August 2nd and you enroll in the state of Maryland plan, then your start date would be September 1st, the month after that August 2nd date. So I know it's a little confusing, but the benefits website does outline this. So if you read up at that website that is on the next, right, the benefits website, you will see that same information that I just said about start date of coverage for the state plan. So for the state plan, there are a few different options that you can choose from. So you sort of have to investigate which one is best for you. As I said before, these are all premium plans. They all have decent coverage. There's no major differences between them. But you might have specific needs that you want to look into to see if one is better for you than the other. They do have different price points. So again, all of that information is on the benefits website. So there's the link right there for you to look into those plans for the state if you're a graduate assistant. And so, as I mentioned before, you have to, within 60 days, opt into the state of Maryland plan. You have to wait, though, for an email from Workday, which is from the state of Maryland. It's not from you. It's not from UMD. It's from the state of Maryland. So the state of Maryland will send you an email about enrolling. But this email comes 3 or 4 weeks after you start your job as an assistant. So that's just something to be aware of. That also is explained on the benefits website. And the other thing that's sort of nice about the state plan is that insurance premiums are deducted from your biweekly paycheck. So you don't have to come up with one lump sum. So that is sort of nice to be able to have that option. Okay, so I'm going to move over. I'm going to go back to talking about SHIP, the Student Health Insurance Plan, for a moment, just to make sure that we understand what this is all about. So the academic health plans is the broker that helps students enroll in Aetna. So they administer it all. So they have a website, they have plan materials on their website, they help with enrollment. They also if you have an external plan, they also have the report there on their website if you have an external plan. And they have a customer service team to also assist you. Their website is on the bottom of that column. And if you, just to talk more about Aetna, which is the insurance carrier, Aetna is the insurance carrier. They provide claims administration and claims customer service, and they distribute the ID cards. And they also they're the ones that give you the list of the doctors that are associated with them. So the Aetna website is on that column. So that's where you can find information about the insurance plan itself. You go to AHP to enroll in it. So I hope that's sort of clear. There's 2 places for information when you are ready to look into the SHIP plan. The state of Maryland insurance, as I said before, there's several different plans. There's Kaiser, United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and all that information can be found on the benefits website. So definitely you'd have to go to that benefits website to learn more about the different plans available through the state. That's for GA ships only, people that have a graduate assistantship. And then in terms of contacts for the state of Maryland insurance, you can talk to the person in your department that handles insurance matters or payroll matters. You can talk to UHR benefits. You can talk to the state of Maryland. You can even call the state of Maryland and ask them about the plans there, because they are in fact the state's plan. They're not plans from the university. These are plans that are offered by the state. But again, more information about this is all available on the benefits website. So you might have come here today to learn a little bit more about health insurance and try to get a handle on what it is like in the United States. So this page is providing some resources for you. The first one is a glossary of terms. I've already said a few terms. I've talked about premiums. I've talked about insurance carriers. I've talked about I haven't talked about co-pays, but that's a very common term used in the insurance world. When you go to a doctor, you just pay a little bit. That's called a co-pay. So that is a list of terms that are used in this world of insurance that you're finding yourself in. The UMD Health Center is a great resource in terms of you can go to a doctor there. That's pretty amazing. And if you have the student health insurance plan, one great benefit is that you don't have a copay when you go to the UMD Health Center if you have SHIP. So that is a nice benefit. You just go and get the care that you need, and then you don't even have a copay to pay, and then you're set to go. That benefit is only for SHIP enrollees. It is not available to the state of Maryland plans, but what you'd have, if you have the state of Maryland plan, you would go to the UMD Health Center. You're welcome to go there, but you would have to also pay that copay. So probably nobody on this call is a Maryland resident, but that's the Maryland website to determine whether or not the state of Maryland can assist you in finding health insurance somewhere other than UMD. You won't really need that. That bullet doesn't really apply to this audience. One other term that is this last bullet, the qualifying event term, is important for you to just know is available. A qualifying event is a major life event that happens, such as the birth of a child, such as losing your job. Those are all things, those two things are examples of a qualifying event where it allows you to enroll an insurance plan outside of open enrollment. So if there's a birth of a child in your family and you have SHIP, for example, and the child comes in October after open enrollment, you can enroll that child in the plan as well at that time using a qualifying event process. And so there's more information about qualifying events on those links that are in that bullet. And these are just some phone numbers that I thought maybe you could benefit from having, and websites. And we've got the academic health plans website and phone number, Aetna website and phone number, UMD Health Center website and phone number. Appointments, if you want to make an appointment at the UMD Health Center, that's where you would go. And UMD, the Human Resources Benefits website that I mentioned before, if you're interested in the state plan, that is their website. So some of it's repetitive from what I put into this presentation before, but here it is all on one page. So that is the end of my presentation. Do we have any questions?
Maybe everybody's already picked their health insurance. Here we go. Here's a question. Thanks,
Okay.
Quan. Does the University Health Center accept the Maryland State Employee Health Insurance Plan?
Yes, and that's the one that allows you to go there and not pay a copay.
Anyone else? No, it's tough to compare health insurance plans. We realize that. We were hoping that we would get to address that in more detail in this workshop, but we lost our speaker on that. So we will be sharing some resources in our post-workshop email about how to do that, how to compare insurance plans so you can figure out what's right for you.
I can say that in terms of comparing plans, there's different, you can find them, what AHP calls the master policy. You can find, it's usually a large booklet, and it lists out the different services that are available. So Debbie and I can work together to make sure that we find all the links you need with regard to looking at the different plans offered by the state of Maryland and offered by Aetna.
That'd be great. Thanks, Robin. All right, here's a couple more questions. Is the Maryland State Employee Health Insurance Plan the same as the ones we as GAs sign up for?
Okay, let me just make sure I understand what you're asking. The Maryland State Employee Health Plan, if you are a GA, yes, you are eligible to enroll in the employee health plan. It's the same one I enroll in. So yes, GAs are eligible to enroll in that. It is the
Right.
state of Maryland employee health plan.
Okay, so yes, it is the same single plan.
I mean, they offer 3 different carriers: Kaiser, Blue Cross Blue
Right.
Shield, and United Healthcare. But
Right.
all 3 of those are the state of Maryland employee plan.
Thank you. Okay, here's a question from Monica. Does the university support graduate assistance with premium payments?
There's the only time that the graduate school, well, so you asked about whether the university does. Well, let me tell you what the graduate school does. If you are holding a prestigious fellowship, then yes, we offer reimbursement for the cost of individual healthcare coverage. So if you have a prestigious fellowship, you can request that. But other than that, no. Your departments might offer something, you can check with them. But the university in general, or the graduate school in general, does not accept if you are as prestigious external fellowship holder.
Thank you, Robin. Anything else? Here we go. One more. Will I be able to go to UMD's health center and not pay a copay with Kaiser as the carrier?
Okay, that's a good question, and it's there's a double thing in there with regard to Kaiser. Kaiser is very different than most other insurance plans. You have to use their in-network doctors. So if you went to the UMD Health Center, I honestly do not know if they would even accept Kaiser. Now that I've said that already, that you could go. What do you know, Debbie, if they even accept Kaiser? Because they're not a Kaiser facility.
Yeah.
So Kaiser is a strange one. It's a good plan, but it may require you to actually go to a Kaiser facility.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. Zach, do you know? Okay.
And so it likely depends on which plan you have, because I think there are different steps within the Kaiser plan. Well, I'm not certain about the Maryland version, if there are different steps, but sometimes they do let you go to quote unquote out of network doctors that are the non-Kaiser doctors, and you might have you're likely going to have a copay. I doubt that you'd be able to go to the Maryland Health Center without a copay on the Kaiser plan.
Right. If Maryland Center, right.
Yeah.
If Maryland Health Center allows you to go there as a Kaiser insurance holder, I'm sure that they would require a copay.
Right. So I suggest that you contact the health center and ask them.
Good question. Good idea.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Good idea.
I'm sorry, we don't know. Next year we'll have someone from the health center here. Right. Anything else? All right. So today is the 6th.
There's one more question.
Here we go. Thank you. Okay, Care First and United Health Plan looks almost identical with regard to benefits. What else should I consider when selecting?
Well, one thing that some people need, for example, might be maternity coverage kind of thing. So if that's something that is in the future, you might want to make sure that the coverage is similar. But you're probably right. Care First and United Healthcare are probably going to be very similar in terms of how they cover and what they cover. Copay amounts. I mean, those 2 plans for sure are going to be similar. I don't know details about the plans though, so I can't really speak for them.
Right.
But it sounds like you've already done some research and it looks like you've already came to that conclusion. So you can just continue looking at those charts that they provide to determine if there's any major differences. But they're both very good plans. One thing though that you might want to make sure to look at is their list of doctors. I don't know if you already have doctors here, you might want to continue with the same doctor that you've already been to. But if you don't already have doctors, that may not even be a factor. Because each carrier, I'm going to add to that, sorry. Each carrier will have their own list of quote unquote for preferred doctors or in-network doctors, it's also called. So they'll pay when it's an in-network doctor, the benefit is better. When it's out-of-network doctor, the benefit is less. So that means if the benefit is less, that means that you will pay more.
And I just want to reiterate, Robin and is using some terminology related to health insurance. You might not be familiar with it. And we will be sharing a glossary so that you can understand what all these terms mean. I still have to look at the glossary. And I've been dealing with my own health insurance for decades now. So, yeah, so just watch for that follow-up email today. Any other questions? Okay, it's awfully quiet. Robin, if students have specific questions for you, what is the best way to reach you?
Email. You know what? I realized I did not even put my name on those slides. You can add a slide or add it to that last slide. But the best way to connect with me would be email. My email is R and then my last name, you can see it on the screen, rkotzker at umd.edu. And I'm happy to help you along if I can.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Robin. Wait, we got another question from Taylor. What are the major differences between PPO and EPO plans? And we might need the glossary for that one.
Yes, yes. What I know about the differences is that PPO are the preferred provider. I don't know what the O stands for. Preferred provider network is the way I would define it, but I just don't know what the O stands for.
The O is just organization.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So those are the ones. So that the PPOs allow you to. It's a small group of not small group, but it's a group of doctors who are. Boy, I'm having trouble. I think I need the glossary, just like you said.
Yeah, and so I can chime in quickly.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So EPO is exclusive provider organization.
Thank you.
And a PPO is a preferred provider organization. The EPO has more limitations because it's exclusive, meaning that you can really only go outside of those doctors in case of a medical emergency. And so that is one that Kaiser is often, depending on your plan, sometimes it could be an EPO, or other times you might hear of it as an HMO, which is similar. And so exclusive is going to have more limitations on the number of doctors you can see. Preferred means that you will pay a better rate or have a smaller copay with their preferred doctors, but it doesn't completely bar you from seeing doctors that aren't in their preferred network. You just will pay a higher copay, or there may be limited benefits with those non-preferred doctors. And by benefits, it means coverages and payouts that the insurance company is going to do. So they may say you can only get A, B, and C medical procedures with non-preferred doctors, but you could get A, B, C, D, E, F, G with our preferred doctors or something like that. That might be what they reimburse for. And so PPO is usually going to be slightly higher in cost for you, but it will give you broader options for seeking medical care.
Excellent. Thank you. That was really good.
I mainly learned just because, I've made these own decisions myself and had to read the materials previously.
Right. And to be honest, personally, just to give you a sense, I've always stayed with PPO plans because they gave me that extra flexibility to seek out the doctor that I wanted to go see. So that's why I chose PPO.
Right. But if you're younger and you don't have any health issues, you don't need to see a doctor very frequently, it may be in your best interest and a little less expensive to not do the PPO.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Right. It's quiet again.
If you just give me a second, I'm checking the spreadsheet to see if there was any questions we had in advance.
Okay, Simone, thank you.
One question, we kind of went over this, but one question was, what items should we pay special attention to in the contract? We did go over that a little bit.
And we're sending out the guide to selecting insurance.
And then this is I'd like an explanation of the 5 UMD GSA health insurance options specifically, but I understand that might not be relevant to everyone.
Well, it's for those who, of course, have a graduate assistantship. So
Oh, okay.
we don't, yeah, GSA, I think they're just referring to a graduate student assistantship,
Right.
is what I assumed. So I think I would just direct them to the benefits website to learn more. But
Right.
again, Debbie's going to be sending out that email that's going
Right.
to have a direct link to help with that process. But that's not something we can really outline here. It's more for, it unfortunately takes some time. You have to sort of dig in yourself and figure out
Right.
what insurance plan is good for you.
Right. It's not designed to be easy, the process of selecting your insurance. It's something you're going to have to devote some time to, and, maybe make a spreadsheet and compare the benefits of different plans and the costs. So it's not easy for anyone.
No, it's not.
The
No.
only other tip I would give it is if you're comparing the multiple different plans. I think as a previous student identified, a lot of the plans are going to have very similar coverages and very similar copay amounts. And so one distinction could be, where are you living? What sort of transportation do you have? And what doctors do you want to see? And so don't hesitate to go to the individual plan websites, like the Aetna website or the United Healthcare website, because they will have the ability to search doctors that are in their preferred network or are in their coverage plans. And so that might make a very big difference for you if you're saying, I live in Silver Spring or I live in Baltimore. And Care First is largely, Care First has been one of the state of Maryland plans for like 40 years. I know that my parents had that when I was a child. And so that is pretty well covered across the state. So is United as well. But I think United is more of a West Coast based company. But just look up the doctors. They will have searches where you can either search by location, search by type of doctor if you're looking for a specific primary care doctor, or if you have health conditions that you're looking for that type of doctor, that you can look up by practice type, or just if you have a doctor in mind, you can look up that doctor's office and make sure that they're covered. So it might not tell you exactly to do that, or it might not be in the big chart where you're looking at how much does this cost, how much are my copays, what's covered, but you should go to the websites for the plans and you'll be able to get some additional insight about doctors that may be convenient for you.
Good advice. Thank you, Zach.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else? Does the state of Maryland insurance cover vision and dental?
You'd have to look at the different plans. Some of them some vision plans come within the major medical plan, some don't. So yes, vision and dental are available, but you sort of have to make sure what you're enrolling in actually has it, or if you have to get an external plan on top of your medical insurance. So you've got medical insurance to fund you, that's the major thing. And then the two enhanced things that you are looking for are dental and vision. So dental is, I think, always separate, but vision sometimes is with the medical plan and sometimes it's not. You have to look to see.
Because there are 3 choices within the state of Maryland plan, and they're all different. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yes, and I can tell you firsthand, I have United Healthcare, and the vision is, United Healthcare has vision, but it doesn't have dental. None of them have dental. Dental is separate. Anyway, but there's other plans like Care Blue Cross Blue Shield. I don't know if they have vision as part of their coverage. I just don't know.
All right. Anything else? All right, well, thank you for all the thank yous. You're welcome. We did our best with some teamwork. So Robin, thank you for taking this on and for leading us in this discussion. Thank you to Zach and Simone for chiming in. We hope this was helpful to you. And I see that Simone put a link to our survey, our post-workshop survey. So really, it just takes a minute. Please give us some feedback. These workshops are designed for you, to support you, to help you, and we want to do a good job. So we need your feedback. And let's see, next week, the workshop is how do I get a Maryland driver's license? Always a very popular topic. That workshop will be presented by our attorney, Zach Mundy, and it's always a good one. All right, well, everyone have a great week. And as always, let us know how legal aid and how the grad school can help you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks so much, Robin. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.